Hi, good afternoon. Here we are then. Welcome to the Jon Gaunt podcast. It's 1 o'clock. We're live and you can have your say. And today I'm talking about the border crisis that the mainstream media doesn't seem to want to face. It's hardly in the papers this morning. It's been hardly on the political programs. They've been talking to John Healey, the Defence Secretary. What a Burke he is. He's talking about the threat of Russia and China. This bunch of half-wits can't even protect the beaches of Dover. What chance would we have against China or Russia? I'll tell you, no chance. And they're talking about building loads of factories to make new weapons. It'll take forever. How about, first of all, protecting Dover, protecting our beaches, protecting our nation before our nation is completely invaded and taken over. I'm sure that's what the British people want. If I've got it wrong, I want you to tell me today. I'm here for half an hour. 1,200 people crossed the channel yesterday into Dover. It's a new record. And the government did absolutely nothing. Sweet FA. If you want to comment, just put it on the sidebar for me or just below, and I'll read out your comments as we get going. But my name's Jon Gaunt. I'm talking about Dover. I'm going to be talking about Nigel Farage. I'm talking about border control. I'm talking about the illegal invasion. I'm talking about the amount of migrants who are getting in. They're illegal, every single one of them, and it's unsustainable. Do you agree with me? The French police, there's a few pictures of them on the internet. They're standing just outside the shallow water, looking at the migrants wade through the water and get on the boats. John Healey, the Defence Secretary, said, we're getting a new arrangement now where if the boats are in shallow water, the French can stop them. Excuse me. We gave them millions and millions and millions of pounds, which they converted into euros, I guess. And they've done sweet F.A., you idiot. Wasn't that part of the deal? I know it wasn't necessarily you. It was probably Rishi Sunak or Boris. Listen, the whole political class has been a complete and utter miserable failure. They have sold out our nation. They are giving it away to these illegals. I haven't got a problem with immigration. In fact, I fully support well-managed, well-controlled immigration. But I have got the solution to the problem we've got in the channel. And one of those solutions is we must not allow the French to stand by and let them come in anymore. And I tell you what, Mr. Healey and you, Starmer, who's been silent, absolutely silent on this. He should have done a national address this morning to the nation to tell us what the hell he's going to do. When is he going to pull his finger out? If he was as keen on stopping the boats as he is stopping free speech and stopping people getting into our nation, we wouldn't have this problem. Are you with me or are you against me? If they can't defend Dover, what chance do we have against Russia or China? This isn't incompetence anymore. This is a nation's suicide. A nation's suicide. We are committing suicide. We can't take the amount of people that are coming in. It's completely unsustainable, but it's also bankrupting the nation. 7 million pound a day to put them up in hotels. I'll tell you what the solution to all this is in just a moment, but I also want your suggestions. If you like what I'm saying, please press the like button. Even if you don't like it, press it to show us you're there. Pip Tomlinson, this will get worse after the next few months as the summer hits. More and more will arrive. More and more will be given free money when they arrive. And more people will turn to the Reform Party. Yeah, but the problem is, Pip, will it also turn to civil unrest? Will it turn to civil unrest? I've already answered you on there. Morning, Gaunty. Big up, says 19 Glassman 75 on YouTube. Good morning to you, my friend. Edward Martin says, you're 100% correct, John. Whatever happened to the first safe country they got to taking them in. Well, we're being taken for mugs, aren't we? The French are literally directing them across the channel. Why don't they just buy some bloody hovercraft and bring them over? They may as well. The French have stolen our money. But I blame idiots like this man behind me. Look at him. Useless. Absolutely useless. So busy covering up his own misdemeanors, not busy enough to protect our borders. He's not fit to be Prime Minister. Are you with me or against me? I've lost it with him now completely. I tried to give him the benefit of the doubt, but he won't change. He's so bloody arrogant. And they are giving away our nation, the nation that won 2 world wars, the nation that liberated France, Germany, Italy, and the rest of the Europe, along with our friends in Russia and the United States. We're giving away our country for a few euros, and I am fuming, and you should be as well. There will be more records. Starmer's end is near, so we're going to get flooded before Farage shuts it down. Look what happened in Paris last night. That's our future, says Adele. Adele, that is a really good comment. Yeah, it was incredible, wasn't it? I mean, that was not football violence. That was the illegals fighting against the French. We've been saying this for ages. These men, and they're mostly men, have a look again at any TV coverage you can pick up or on the internet. They're mostly young men of fighting age. Why on earth are we doing this to ourselves? Why are we letting these people in? I'm not saying they're all terrorists. I'm not saying they're all going to wish us harm or rape our children. I'm not saying any of that. But we haven't managed it. And not only that, they're jumping the queue. What about the people who have been waiting to get here, who have going through the proper channels? We've been let down, not just by Labour, but by the Tories as well. Never forget it. 20, 30 years, going right back to Blair, when he let the Polish plumbers in with no limit to how many could come. He sold out our country and the whole of the political class, because it doesn't affect them. Well, it does. It means they can get a sandwich in London on lots of different types of bread. They can have a foreign nanny. They can have somebody to wash their cars. They can have somebody to drive their cars and pay them all peanuts. That's why it's okay for them. They're not living amongst it. Afternoon, John, as always, I'm with you. But what is the answer? How do we stop them? I don't have the answer. Well, I do, my friend. And you stay tuned. I will tell you the answer, whether they've got the guts to do it. But I've got the solution to how we stop 1,200 people coming across the channel in one day. Keir Starmer, you should be hanging your miserable head in shame. Why aren't you on the political shows today? Too busy repairing your front door after Ukrainian models tried to set it on fire? I wonder why they did that. And then we find out today as well, Axel Rudakabana, the South Airport slayer, he's allowed to have treats in prison and buy his own sweets. And what he particularly likes, Haribo. I remember this when Myra Hindley started smoking. I suggested, I was on BBC Three Counties, I said we should all send her fags and hopefully the miserable old cow can get cancer and die. I got a reprimand for that. She got about 3,000 fags, but beside the point. Which PM last protected our borders, says James Bechter? I genuinely can't remember. Very good point. There simply has to be a grand plan at foot for so many to do so little about such an important issue. Good message, that. Thank you. The Feral Gamer 91. We should abolish government and give control to the people of the country. Well, that's what we're meant to have. It's meant to be a democracy. I know. Adam Cowning, a very big fan of mine. Good morning, Adam. Keir pushed for migrants to get more taxpayers' cash to fund appeals. I've got an answer to that as well, Adam, coming up very soon. If their asylum pleas failed. Yeah, of course. He's part of the human rights industry, isn't he? He's one of them. And his mate, who should have got sacked this weekend, the Attorney General. The Attorney General, do you see that? He's called anybody who's concerned about migration. We're all fascists, yeah? And we talk as if we're in the Nazi party. But we've now found out he's also deeply involved in many legal cases that most of the British public are against. And he's kept his job. Nice work if you can get it. The problem is Wojciech Krajewski. The problem is that Starmer and co are gutless, spineless cowards. The ramifications are going to be catastrophic. You are so right, Wojciech. Wait till you listen to what I think the solution is. That's coming up in the show in a moment. Loads of likes today. Thank you. Loads of people watching. Sunday seems to be a really popular day for you, no matter what time I do it. So we'll carry on doing Sundays, I think. Although I've got to get a shift on today. And my best mate's been on holiday in, of all places, Mauritius. He's a single bloke. He went on his own. So I'm going to get the lowdown on Mauritius later and tell him that we were nearly at war with him. Well, apart from we haven't got any politicians with the backbone. And what do you make of that as well? We gave away the Chagos Isles. We'll be giving away Gibraltar, mark my words, and the Falklands, because this gutless, spineless, blancmange government, they don't believe in anything apart from trying to get a top job in the EU. Starmer, we see you. We see you. We know exactly what you are. As you can see, and probably hear, my mouth is feeling a lot better. So it's a nation suicide. That's what we're living through. Meanwhile, the Reform UK leader, Nigel Farage, did warn us weeks ago, and I backed him up, that this was a national emergency. Well, if you didn't believe him then, you've got to believe him now, haven't you? The whole corrupt system is broken. Immigration is out of control, both legal and illegal. And what I worry about is that because the illegal is out of control, all immigrants are going to get tarred with the same brush. And if we're not careful, with the summer coming on, there'll be riots in the street. Look at what happened in Paris last night, as one of my listeners just said. Look what happened at Southport. The people are getting angry. You wouldn't know this, Starmer, because you go to very controlled press events if you ever venture north of Watford Gap. You are a disgrace. We have spent millions and millions of pounds giving the French support, yet they continue to wave the illegals through. Then when they get here, our migrant hotels are full, the channel is a free-for-all, and we, the British public, is being ignored. And where's Keir Starmer? He's silent, oh so silent. Not a word today about Dover, and no doubt his mates in the mainstream media are helping him cover this up. GB News talked about it extensively yesterday and today. Congratulations to them. But everybody else, I mean, even on that Laura Kunsberg show this morning, she went, da-da-da-da-da, this is in the papers, da-da-da-da. And we, the BBC, on our internet side, we're leading on this. And then she talked about Gaza getting bombed again, which, of course, is a serious story. But I'm afraid it's not number one on our agenda. The invasion of our great nation is number one. So here's what I think needs to happen. I'll go through my list, and then you join in where you fancy. Coming back to your comments in a moment. If you do like my show, please support it so I can carry on doing it. You just go to www.buymeabeer.com/Jon Gaunt, and you can donate anything from £5 upwards. People often buy me 3 beers or 3 coffees. www.buymeacoffee.com is the site to go to /Jon Gaunt. Or, of course, whilst I'm on YouTube, you can also, if you're listening or watching on YouTube, do it on a super chat or a super sticker and donate whatever you want from £1 upwards. What you must do is subscribe to Jon Gaunt TV. That is my YouTube channel. That is free. And then you'll always know when I'm going to do a show. Right. Here we are then. You want the solution to Dover. Here it is. If I was Prime Minister, this is what I would do. And I think the majority of the United Kingdom would agree with me. Number one, we have to leave the ECHR, European Court of Human Rights. We need to tell them to stick that where the sun don't shine, because they help people stay for longer. The appeals process goes on and on and on. I'm not suggesting that every single person who gets in illegally has to be deported. What I am suggesting is the vast majority. They're economic migrants. We can't afford it. So this is how we do it. We tow the boats back to Calais. We put the army on the beaches and the navy in the channel. Why would this work? Well, I'll show you where it's worked. Australia. I'll tell you where else it's worked. Southern America. America going in, the United States going into Mexico and those countries in Central America. Donald Trump has reduced illegal immigration by 95% by putting troops on the border and on his wall. It's a beautiful wall. And he's kicked them out. Why can't we do the same? We've got an advantage. We've got 25 miles of sea in between us and France. However, yesterday, it's unbelievable, this figure, 22 small boats came over, bringing a total of 1,200 people. People are dying. It's just wrong, just on a humanity level. We're encouraging death in the channel. So we put the army on the beaches. They round up the people. We know when they run up the beach, we just round them up. We get them dry, give them new clothes, give them a hot meal, and then bang, back on a boat. We tow the boats back, empty. Once we get to France, we get all of the migrants off. We then say, they are France. We then get the boats and we stab the boats so the boats can't be used again. What we should do is keep the engines because they could come in useful for something else. But don't give them back to France. So it's the army on the beaches in Ireland, the navy in the channel. Then, I was reading today, a lot of the French coppers believe a lot of the problem we've got is because the migrants feel that we're El Dorado. Now, that's not the Spanish soap opera, which I nearly wrote for. Wish I had. I'd have made a fortune. But El Dorado, the famous mythical city made of gold. So it's E-L, then Dorado. That's what it means. A city made of gold. Well, that's the case, isn't it? These migrants think if they get to Britain, then the pavements are paved with gold, or at least benefits. Why? Well, because they see it on YouTube. They see their mates. Every single one of these migrants seems to have a mobile phone, and then they're taking the piss. They get there, they make little videos for TikTok and for Facebook of how happy they are. And then I know they don't get a lot of benefits, but they get money. They get a hotel with, as I've said before, squeezy soap. We should close down the migrant hotels. I've been saying this for the last 8 weeks or so. Every single migrant hotel needs to be closed down. We put up tent cities. Somebody said use the old Nightingale hospitals, which we had for COVID. Good idea. But put the tents in warehouses if necessary, or put army tents up. And if it's good enough for our boys and our heroes, it's good enough for the migrants. And we don't tolerate them setting up their own tent cities as they have done in Park Lane, in Mayfair. No, we go in there. We say, please go now. You've got 20 minutes to go. And if they don't go, we just literally move every tent. Put them on lorries, take them away. And if they want to come and claim them, they can. But you have to have a zero tolerance policy. We cannot allow this to carry on. Anybody who's entered illegally, bye. Shocks away, Stelios. Of course, we should treat them with dignity. And of course, we should have our own human rights, which I think we have got. We're a brilliant, tolerant country. But we cannot carry on like this. But above all, the only real way to solve this problem, ladies and gents, and if you disagree, please tell me, we need politicians with a spine or a pair of you-know-whats. We need to say enough is enough. Our country is getting wrecked. Of course, it's not just the migrants that are wrecking the country. As I said about zero tolerance the other day, the yobbos, the feral, the feckless. But undoubtedly, these illegal foreigners are also having an effect. So we have to declare a state of emergency immediately. Do you agree? Do you trust this government, this particular government, to protect our border. They're talking big today. They're going to send your kids to war. They keep going on about Ukraine. They're going to send your children to die against the Russians in a war that we're not really interested in, to please and pleasure. He likes to be pleasured. Pleasure Keir Starmer. What is it with him and Eastern Europe? I really do not know. And what should we do about the French stealing our money? That's what they've done. They've stolen our money and they've done nothing in return. That pipsqueak, that little Macron who gets pushed about by his bird, he's taking the proverbial. If Starmer was any kind of bloke, he'd be over there now saying, give us our cash back. He's a wimp. And I'll tell you why. Because he wants to be Angela van der Leyen. He wants to have that role in the EU or even greater ones. Drop your thoughts in the chat. Don't forget to keep on pressing the like button, share, and make sure you're subscribing to the Jon Gaunt TV show. And then you'll get all of my shows. All the notifications are when my shows are going to be on. You can't afford to miss it. This is where you hear the truth. This is where I say what I feel. I don't couch it. And, the management don't want me to say this. The management want me to say that. No. I don't spend all my time promoting other people. I'm busy promoting myself. But if you want honesty, this is where you're going to get it, let me assure you. 25 likes. That's absolutely brilliant. Let's come back to your comments. So that's how I'm going to cure the problem. Would that solve the problem or not? I mean, I know what the biggest problem is. We ain't got any politicians who'll do it. But the British public would be 1,000% behind them if somebody suddenly said, this is what we will do. And I just don't think we can wait 4 years for Starmer to get booted out. Do you? Chopper. Hi, John. I think I know what's happening. Starmer, I haven't pressed the button. Starmer has worked out how many votes he's going to lose to reform by and thinks he'll bring in more than that amount, hoping they'll all vote Labour. Do you know what? I would normally laugh at you and say, don't be so stupid. But, excuse me, I've got some runny nose. But there's kind of a truth in what you're saying. And they've done it before, Labour. They do it on a local level. It's called gerrymandering, isn't it? I know the Conservatives actually got done for it. It's wrong. But it is a form of gerrymandering. His incompetence is untenable, says Thistle. I trust you're talking about our supreme leader, Mr. Starmer. Let's not call him Sir Starmer anymore. Not me, okay? Why isn't Starmer sitting in Downing Street writing his resignation speech? Excuse me. Why is he fronting it all out? He either has a hind like a rhino or just plain arrogant. Well, he is arrogant. We know that. He's part of that kind of criminal class, isn't he? The legal class, sorry. And as for his arse being like a rhino, I don't know what his arse is like. Thank goodness. But thank you for your comments, Denise. Very good one indeed. I love it when you set me up and I can then score. No, I don't mean it like that. You know what I mean? Come on then. Let's have some more sensibleness in this discussion as well. Why aren't they doing what we, the British public, want? What is wrong with them? They're more scared of the European Court of Human Rights or pipsqueak Macron or the EU, which technically we're still in, aren't we? Let's face it, the way we're being treated, than they are of the British public. Now, at this point, I have to be very careful what I say. Southport clearly rattled Starmer. He couldn't believe that people like that. So what he did was he went in really hard. He called everyone a far-right racist and started locking up housewives. What would he do if it really turned nasty this summer? If what happened in Paris last night happened here? I don't want it to happen, and I'm certainly not suggesting that that's what people should do. But you understand, I feel it. I can feel the tension in Britain. Whatever happened to the king, the idea of the king, or ruling the country and looking after his people? Instead, the royals, who could do something about this mess, choose to let anarchy happen. You can't blame the rules. The constitutional monarchy. I know technically King Charles could say something. He's hardly going to, though, is he? He's a bleeding heart liberal as well. God love him. Huh? Come on, grow up. Where are we now? Seaside of Mark. If the government does not get a grip of this situation, we will all become poorer and less safe. Everybody loses. Correct. If you just got on, all you have to do is write a comment and I'll read it out for you. I live on the Channel. Oh, this is Kim Elizabeth Roy. I've known her for years. How you doing? I live on the Channel Coast, and I can tell you they come in without the aid of the lifeboat. They've got vehicles waiting for them. Well, this side. You should give that story to the papers. Mind you, they probably wouldn't run it. But nice information. Thank you. Jem, Facebook. We are the boss of these corrupt political puppets. It's time for us to fire them, drag them out if need be. Like I say, very difficult to comment on that, but I understand your emotion and your sentiment. God help us. Another 4 years of Labour. FFS. Precisely. The first word is for. The last word is sake, and the middle word, I haven't got a clue what the middle F is. But yeah, I'm with you. I just can't believe that people voted. Well, we got conned. I mean, I didn't vote. I voted Green. I've told you this before. But no one knows what to say when you tell them that. But the bottom line is, he's in, and he's got a massive majority. He thinks he's the king. He thinks he is the king, or the emperor with no clothes. But it's all beginning to fall off, because when the BBC and the Guardian start slagging you off, Sir Keir, you are knackered. And that's what they're doing. That press conference where you tried to make it all about Farage, and it was meant to be a Farage slag fest, they just turned against you and said, why is he so popular? Why don't you do some of the things he's doing? And you didn't know what to do. Because when you come off script, you can't operate. You've been programmed to say certain sound bites. The deficit. I noticed today you're still going on about that. John Healey, it's all Labour's fault we haven't got any aeroplanes. But the truth is, it's the whole of the political class. You're a bunch of incompetent, overprivileged pigs with your snouts in the trough, whichever political party. Let's hope reform will be different. I wouldn't vote for any of you. In fact, I wouldn't, you know what, if you were on fire. Any of you. You make me sick. Thank you. Laura. Hello, Laura. She's on YouTube. Gaunty, so refreshing to hear real truth discussions that they try to scare you if you speak it. Only guilty parties feel the truth. I'm loving your channel. Then she's done this with her hands. Thank you very much indeed. Tell all your friends. The more people you tell, the bigger it gets, because the way YouTube works is it's all about views. It's all about comments. I'm getting loads of comments now after the show. You know, loads of emails coming in. That's brilliant. It's building the algorithm. But I would also like you to donate, because I'm skint. I'm being honest with you. I haven't got a job. Nearly died. Got myself back together. The mainstream media are scared, are absolutely petrified of me, so won't give me a gig. Because they know they won't be able to say, Gaunty, say this, say that, don't say that, don't say that. Because I'm going to say, yeah, because I'm angry. I'm 64. I've got to that stage where I'm thinking, I'll be dead soon, so I may as well be honest, completely honest. Jem says, I want to leave Britain at this point. That's the problem, Jem. If too many of us go, that's us giving in. If you were Prime Minister, things would run properly, John, says Edward Martin. Oh, I don't know that about that. But one thing is, I do know I can criticise them, and I've got a right to criticise them. Why not stop counting these illegals in the singular, i.e. 1,200 or 1,000, and start referring to them as battalions? Oh, Gaza, Capricorn. That's a very controversial point. Mike, I don't agree with this. He says, sink the terrorist bastard. I don't agree with that, Mike. It's not the individuals who are in the boat that's the problem. It's the gangs, but it's also our politicians. I think our politicians are as bad as the gangs, if I'm honest with you. I think the same thing when it comes to the euphemistically described grooming gangs up north. Why don't they want a public inquiry into that? What is it with the ruling class? What is it? And are they selling out our country? Where we go next? Heat Jar 63. Just deport the effers. End of. Well, yeah, but you have to have a bit more thought out than that. I know the sentiment, but did you see my plan? My plan is simple. Simple. Leave the European Court of Human Rights. Put the Navy in the Channel. May as well. Nowhere else to put them. We haven't got any boats. They could all be on jet skis, couldn't they? Put them also, the army, on the beach, take them back to Calais, and if the French say anything, say, up yours. They won't be up for a fight. The French never are. They never are. So they'll just accept it. And Macron, if his missus can give him a slap, why don't we give him one? Metaphorically speaking, I'm not advocating violence. We should stop letting people in legally and illegally, says the feral gamer. I disagree with you. We need migration. We need immigration. We need it. Well-controlled, managed immigration has made this country a much better place. It's a much better place than it was, I presume, in the 50s. I like the fact we've got diversity. I'm not into DEI. I'm not into diversity is us. And I still think our culture, our religion, our way of life, our rule of law and order is superior to many of the places where these people come from. But I don't want to stop all immigration. I want to get the best and the brightest. There's loads of Italian. There's loads of Indian kids who are so clever now. Such an educated population. Let's get them here. Let's get them working. What's your problem? Don't be against that. Same with Australians, Italians. I'm not a fascist. But what we can't have is 1,200 people coming illegally. Yesterday, I mean, the weather's so good today. I bet it'll be a similar number today. Let's take some more. 31 minutes. Got to stop in a minute. When the historically liberal Scandi countries stop illegal migration, you know it's a problem. Very true. Denmark and Sweden. I went to Denmark a few years ago to a radio conference when I was a somebody. I got invited to speak there. And I couldn't believe there was a real tension. I think they were Afghanis mainly. And now they've clamped down on it, haven't they? But you see, we've got two-tier here. We've got a two-tier legal system. Let's wait and see. The next time somebody shouts Ali snack bar and mows down a load of people in the car, will they say straight away, oh, he's from Afghan, he's an Afghan, or he's an Iraqi, or is this? Straight away, like they did with the white bloke. Don't get me wrong. I don't know, because you've got to be careful. I don't know if the white bloke in Liverpool is guilty or not. He's the main suspect, obviously, and we can draw our conclusions. But I've had lefties saying, oh, you haven't made a big thing about it. Well, I have. I think what he did was disgusting. Anybody who mows down people, I want the bastards locked up. I'd execute them. But he's got to have a trial first. Even Rudy Cabana was going to get a trial in between picking up packets of Maltesers. Evidently, he likes Maltesers, if you want to send him anything, Maltesers and Haribos. And the prison are allowing him to earn money so he can buy it. You literally, as my good friend Richard would say, you couldn't make it up. John, they're just coming into Dover. They're coming up and down the coastline here on the Channel Coast unaided. They land and disappear into waiting vehicles. The full story is not being told. Correct. Heat Jar 63 says, I took my comment off. Good lad. Yeah, you don't want to get grief, mate. You don't want to get grief. Here she is, one of my favourite people, Dark Angel. She says, afternoon, John. I hope you're going to make a comment as well, Dark Angel. Thistle says, let's face it, Labour nor Conservatives don't want to stop the boats. We need a party who's got guts to turn the boats back. Correct. 193 watching on YouTube alone. If we can get it over 200 today, I'd be really happy. Dark Angel says, scary times, John. Demographics. Where's that gone? I've lost you. Demographics are getting really, really bad now. Thank you very much indeed. Mark Anderson says, afternoon, John. Kim in Rye, just send me an email with all that information. I can't read it all out on there, but feel free. It's john@jongaunt.com. Starmer was quick enough to slag off Boris for misleading the country and not doing the right thing by resigning, but won't do the right thing and resign himself. That's a good point on YouTube. I'm putting together another podcast about, do we have the right to know about Starmer's private life? And it's fascinating when you look into it. The amount of articles there were about Boris, and I see he's just got his leg over again, hasn't it? Boris and all his children and his wife, but there's nothing about Starmer apart from these rumours. I'm sure many of them are just malicious. And of course, he didn't want to work Fridays, did he? Was it just Fridays or was it Friday evenings? And of course, there's all these other rumours. And then there's the mysterious actions, which we'll have to wait for the trial for, of the Ukrainian fire bombers. Bombers, I said. Don't leave me astray. Genuine question. It says Chopper. Are we saying the majority of the migrants are Muslim? I don't know. If so, the migrant issue aside, I don't think the country is prepared for a major shift in the majority religion. I don't know if that question's actually been asked. Somebody should, shouldn't they? We need it to a certain point. That point has been and gone, and we are overpopulated, says the feral gamer. I disagree. I think you still always need well-controlled, managed immigration. Nothing wrong with it. We could get over this nonsense now and then get back to a proper system. Just need a politician with a pair of you-know-what. Craig McKenzie says, it's a national emergency. We can't afford unaccounted foreign nationals to mass land. We are in deep trouble. I'm all for immigration, but where it's needed, and we must know who the people are. Craig, you put that brilliantly. Thank you on Facebook. Yeah, his face comes up now. I love the way now that if you've got an avatar, your face comes up on my screen, so I know who I'm looking at. Well, maybe not in your case, Craig. No, I'm just joking. So don't forget, if you want to get your face on the little videos, you can. And if you miss the show ever, you can always listen again on my podcast or on all of the normal channels, Apple, Spotify, YouTube. But you can also watch the video again, because immediately the show ends, I put it up again. And you can watch it on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter. So make sure you do that. You never need to miss it. That's the beauty of the internet. I'm glad you're liking it. Right, Craig, that's the best comment of the day so far. Well done. Del Boxall, he's an old listener of mine. Hello, Del. 1,200 new doctors have come in one day. You sarcastic bugger. Yeah, but I take your point. They're all young men, aren't they? Robbo Goat UK, our border force are, without any doubt whatsoever, committing the most prolific act of treachery this country has ever seen by ferrying in all these male fighting age migrants. Yeah, apart from, don't blame the workers on the front line. Don't blame, because I don't think it is them. It's their so-called superiors, isn't it? Their political leaders and the people who run the force. They're the ones busy tying up their rainbow laces, getting ready to skateboard on Tower Bridge with the Stop Oil people. They're the people we've got to clamp down on. The uber liberals who don't live amongst all this that they create, but want us to, because we're just the plebs. But we're only necessary once every 4 years when there's a vote. Well, Starmer, you just wait when that vote comes. If you think you're getting hammered now, imagine what's going to happen. And the pathetic response of the lamestream media to the threat of Nigel Farage. Oh, he's this, he's that, he's the other. Oh, he said this 10 years ago. He's a fascist, he's this. And then all the little twits on X and Twitter and all the rest of it, Facebook, they start getting aggressive as if they're fighting a war. But they're fighting a war against their own people. Let me state right again, I believe in immigration. But you can't have 12,000 new doctors coming in just when they fancy on the beach, can you, Del? Well said, my friend. You've had loads of chances, feral game. I'm not going to read out any more from you. Nothing against you personally, but you've had 3 or 4 that I've written out, and there's thousands of people trying to get on at the moment. Craig McKenzie, yes, it's me, and I'm gorgeous, John. Laugh out loud. I don't hide. Laugh out loud. Yeah, very funny, Craig. You are gorgeous. Even with me sore mouth. No, I wouldn't. It was just a joke. Kim Elizabeth Wright, I want you to send me that big email, Kim. I shouldn't really let you on it again because you've done loads, but rescind French fishing licenses so they can't fish within our 12-mile limit. Well, we've got to fight back some way. I'd agree with you. Politicians are too busy scoring points over each other. There's none of them with a spine. Yeah, you're right. It's like that. I don't like him. I think he's a jumped up little Burke. The one who's been going on about fare dodging. Robert Jenrick. I think he's a Burke, a self-publicist jerk who obviously wants to be the leader of the Tories. But actually, he's been making some good points about general low-level crime. Vandalism, graffiti, feet on seat, music too loud, being aggressive, so that, etc., etc. And, of course, not paying the tube fare. And he's right. We need zero tolerance. But you see, everybody, no, he's this, he's that. That's some people saying, oh, yeah, and he conned all this money during COVID. Well, I don't know about that. But what I do know is on that one issue, he's right. There's been a massive decline in standards, right? We've even got people in this country who think it's okay to have a crap in the street. I mean, having a wee down a back alley because you're busting at the end of a big session, it's not right. It's not pleasant, but it's not like pulling your shirt. I mean, I remember the first time I went to India and I saw on the train, me and Lisa would go right across India, and there were people, as you came out of the station, there were people crouching on the tracks having a poo. Well, kind of. I understand that. They probably haven't got public links. I never thought I'd see it in this country, but it is almost everywhere. And that's just the birds. Now the small boat genie's out of the bottle. I can't honestly see this situation ending, John. The French aren't interested in policing their vast coastline. This is new non-border Britain now. Well, maybe we need to do it for them. We've done it before. We can perhaps do it again. Did you see the copper who tried to arrest a man who was surrounded by mostly men? The copper looked scared, in my humble opinion. Which incident? There's so many, Brian. I can't remember which one you're talking about. Are we going to end up with our army on our streets? Yes, I think so. I think that's probably a very good summation of where this is going to end. Anyway, I've got to end now. I'm off to see my best mate who's just back from Mauritius. I want to find out if he's bought shares in the airbase. I doubt it. I said, how can you afford to go there? And he told me the deal he got. He got this amazing deal. So because he's a single bloke, he can go when he wants. So he's had 2 weeks in Mauritius. Also, he gets this amazing tan. That's why he wants to see me today before it all ends up in the shower. Come on, come and see me. You only got back yesterday, Dad. Yeah, but yeah, come see me. Yeah, all right. Just makes me jealous. Right, have a great Sunday afternoon, everybody. Chopper's just wished me a nice Sunday afternoon. Brian James says, working class patriot channel. Don't know what you're on about, mate. Thank you very much indeed for joining in. It would have been nice if somebody had bought me a super chat or a super sticker, chucked a few bob in the pot, but maybe you're going to do it all later on Buy Me a Coffee. He says, buymeacoffee.com/Jon Gaunt. This was an extra show. As you know, I normally do Monday to Thursday at 6:30 at night. So I'll be back tomorrow. See if you can tune in then. I then often do an extra show on a Friday or a Saturday. And I have the past few weeks been doing this one on Sunday. So you get even more. And unlike the BBC, if you don't pay, you won't get taken to prison. I promise you. You might get taken to prison for daring to say things against our supreme leader. There he is. Hey, what a man. I could almost... No, I couldn't. Anyway, that's Keir Starmer. He's your Prime Minister. What did we do to deserve him? Why can't they... Oh, look at this. RoboGoat UK has just whacked in a £5. Thank you on a super sticker. You are a hero. You get mentioned again next time when we do another show. But thank you ever so much. It's really, really appreciated. And Jackie Walk, she hasn't sent me reward, hasn't sent me money today, but she sent me 3 love hearts. Isn't that nice? 35 likes today during this show, and we haven't even done the replay yet. So thank you for that. Don't forget, my name is Jon Gaunt. The YouTube channel is Jon Gaunt TV. Of course, I'm on Twitter. Of course, I'm on Facebook. I'm also somewhere else, but I can't remember where it is. Oh, I've started that thing on TikTok. I do little short bits on there that seems to wind people up. So have a look at that as well. And I've got to tell you this. I did it at first just to, I don't know, a bit of psychology. You can see if I could get my confidence back. Well, I've got that back now, as you can see. But now I'm really, really enjoying it. In fact, I don't think I've ever had as much fun in all of my radio career. Maybe a short period when I was at Luton. Not talk radio, that was... Anyway, so thanks. And the audience is building. Takes time. But we'll get there. Please, the biggest thing you can do for me is to retweet this video or retweet or, repost it or tell your mates in the old-fashioned way. Oh, I listen to Gaunty. Don't you know who he is? He's brilliant. Who's he, the old one who used to be on Talk Sport? Yeah, him. The one who got sacked for calling a counsellor, and that's it. Yeah, him. Is he still alive? That's always the third question. Yeah, but he's just had his tooth out. Anyway, get everybody else to listen or watch. Thank you very much indeed. Until we speak again, if you've got kids, give them a kiss, give them a hug. Hey, hey, hey! Don't forget to tell them you love them. Come on, let's get our country back. Thank you very much.